Good evening, my fellow students and Dr. Emmert. This week, I have decided to look at the political platform of Huey P. Long. From 1928 to 1932, he served as the governor of Louisiana. Eventually, he was elected to the United States Senate. Long represented Louisiana in the Senate from 1932 until his assassination in 1935. He was a populist liberal in the Democratic Party. He was actually to the left of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. So it's no wonder that Long was a critic of FDR and his New Deal program. He did not feel that the New Deal adequately served the needs of Americans during the Great Depression. Therefore, Long created his own program to help alleviate poverty for the poor in America. His program was called Share Our Wealth. The program called for massive federal spending, a wealth tax, and the redistribution of wealth in hopes of stimulating the economy and helping Americans survive the Great Depression. The United States experienced a 25% unemployment rate in 1933 that amounted to up to 15 million people out of work. Long and his supporters felt it necessary to implement bold solutions to provide relief that the New Deal, more than the New Deal actually provided. I was able to locate great sources in the Jerry Falwell Library, as well as America, History and Life with full text. Alan Brinkley wrote an article titled Huey Long, The Share Our Wealth Movement and the Limits of Depression Dissidents. In the article, Brinkley discussed the popularity of the program with Americans in many states. It was so popular that Share Our Wealth clubs were formed around the country. They were formed in rural areas in Georgia, suburban areas in Maryland, and urban areas in the North. There were clubs in St. Louis, Missouri, Seattle, Washington, and as far west as California. Brinkley described a mass desire of the people for government to take more action in solving economic problems than the New Deal was willing to attempt. Another source gave insight to Huey Long's political ambitions. Robert Snyder wrote Huey Long in the presidential election of 1936. And there was much speculation that Senator Long was going to challenge President Roosevelt for the Democratic nomination in 1936. In the article, he discussed that FDR considered Long as one of the two most dangerous men in America, the other being General Douglas MacArthur. The author went into detail about the stipulations of the program. It called for the federal government to tax all fortunes. When a fortune reached $100 million, anything over that amount would be given to the federal government. A family would be limited to $1 million a year, and a family would not be allowed to inherit more than $5 million. The money raised by the government would be used to provide $5,000 for a home for every family. It also would provide a yearly income of $2,000 to $3,000 for every worker, $30 a month for Americans 60 years and older. It called for a college education for any young person who showed the ability to do college work. And finally, it called for bonuses for military veterans. Other stipulations were a balancing of supply and demand in the agricultural industry by having the federal government to purchase and store farming products. And lastly, Long wanted the federal government to limit weekly work hours to 30 as well as 11 months in the year. Okay. All right. So that was my presentation on Huey Long and the Share Our Wealth program. Thank you very much.